close the big male is to us. He's just wandered past. We can't see the little boy just yet. Look at that. There might be some potential prey. He's just changed his body language. Oh no, he's having a wee. I couldn't see that because he's so close to the car. It looked like he was crouching down, getting ready to go attack something. But there are two vehicles still with Hasana, so I think we stick with Tingana while he's moving. Angela, yes, Hasana is behaving badly, but if you remember quarantine with Kunyuma and with Mvula, he was also very tolerant of of his young boys. So it probably does happen more than we think, but a lot of those interactions take place when we're not around. Now, with Hasana and Tingana, it's not too much of an issue. However, if this was Hukumuri, Hasana would be tickets. So he might go, there's a baby crocodile right where he's going. And maybe he would try eat that baby crocodile if he saw it. Now, leopards are solitary, Kyle. They do not form male coalitions at all, like lions. So they will always be by themselves normally. Now, leopards don't live in groups, Tadio, because they have evolved to be solitary hunters. So they're not as big as lions, so they don't need to eat as much, and they've evolved the speciality of taking meat up trees to avoid competition with hyenas and lions. So they've evolved to be solitary hunters. Unlike lions, they've evolved to be social hunters. I need to, that was Ali disappearing past. Now, he is hungry. Now, I'm not sure what Hassan is up to. Whether he's coming long behind us for him, doesn't look like it. I just want to wait to see where Tingana's going to go next, because that baby crocodile was in that pool just there. And leopards will definitely eat crocodiles, or baby crocs. Now, like the whole coalition story, Romitz, I don't think Hasana would help Tingana fight another male. He would try get as far away from there as possible, would be my guess. Okay, he's on the move. We're going to have to do some ducking and diving to keep up with him in that area. So while we do that, let's send you back to Steve, who's got a bird with a big bill. Well, Hassan is still back there. We decided to stick with Tingana because it looked like he was going to be more active. But he has popped himself down in the long grass. Exactly, or very close to where we saw that baby crocodile. So we were just too early when we came looking here of him. So we might do a little trundle on to Hosanna, see what he's doing, while Tingana is flat. He's still sort of awake. Now, let's just move around a little bit, see if we can get a slightly better view. Okay, just quickly, FC, can you tell Taylor or Steve, whoever's close to Cheetah Cutline, that Hosana sounds like he's heading for Cheetah Cutline? Not yet, but he's on his way in that direction if anyone's relatively close. So that answers what happened to Hosana. And we'll stick with Tingana. Hosana might be going to visit the elephant carcass again. He seems to like to do that in the afternoons. And Tingana, it looks like he's going to have a bit of a snooze. Okay, now, jaguars are well known to take crocodiles, as Sinak points out. But Sinak, yes, leopards will still attack crocodiles, even much bigger than the baby croc we saw. His head's getting heavy. But he is very hungry, so it might be worth hanging around with him for a while. I think we might have to play the patience game here a little bit. As he dozes for a little while. Now, leopards are incredibly adaptable in terms of their prey species, Rowan. So they will eat things smaller and larger than themselves, depending on what is available for them to catch. So they will catch animals as big as kudu or as small as a little mouse. They are incredibly adaptable. Now, very exciting that Taylor found little paw prints in the ground, on little tracks. Now, we did hear from one of the Buffalo's Hook guys that they found a female with 2 cubs as well, not too far away from the boundary, and it was not Tundi. It's quite a small female from up in the north who's not very relaxed. Kim says he's going to be watching that Ellie cam also now in case Hosana heads that way. It's still a while till he gets there, but he might turn up, you never know. Now, as I say, Tingana is not looking at his best. Adrian, I don't think it was a snake. I think that's just what happens to leopards when they get old. They're not as fast, not as quick. There's pressure from males like Hukamuri and Djuma, and at times just become tough, and they slowly but surely lose condition. As he walked right next to us, you could see the appearance of his shoulder blades being very close together. That's normal, Melissa. That's 100% normal, and when they move like that. He's very, very lazy at the moment. Now, as I said, we can't be sure that Tingana is Hosana's father. It's highly likely, but we cannot be 100% sure. Karula mated with Anderson, Djuma, Tingana, and those are the only males we know about that she mated with. So any one of those leopards could be the father, but female leopards do that to make sure all those leopards think that these cubs are theirs. And no, he will not actually leave any territory for Hosana. Then if he does, it's purely by accident, because he's been killed by another leopard, or he's died from a wound or something like that and has left a vacuum that Hosana might be able to stay in for a while. It's not intentional. It's not like females, and that is, of course, to stop inbreeding, because normally if a male leopard is coming towards the end of his reign, there will be a few females in that area that will carry his genetics, so he doesn't want his sons to start mating with them. So I'm going to be on the radio for a second. Dylan. Dill. Is he still heading north? You copied about Tingana as well here. Just in the Muranini below the wall. Firm. What's the vehicle lineup at Hosana? Okay, well guys, it sounds like Hosana's on the move a little bit further away from us, while Tingana's napping very, very deeply. Well, let's go have a look what Hosana's doing.
Yes, we have. Thanks very much, Brent, for showing us where he is. We've come all the way over to Chitwa, as the vehicle I've been using has been having some technical issues down in Chitwa. This is my first time back down here in quite a few days, but it seems like, if you can see the picture and you can hear me speaking, that the tech geniuses have managed to fix whatever problems the gremlins were causing in the system. And here he is, the old chief, Tingana. I haven't seen him in some time, and he does seem to have lost a fair amount of condition since I last saw him. Cheetah cat, to answer your question, I think male leopards start developing a dewlap around 2.5 to 3, and then as they get bigger, it just seems to form more in the size of the animal. So from about 4, 5, it's definitely properly developed, and I think Tingana's about 12 now, hey, Ferg? So he's about as old as male leopards get. And we were just discussing with Ferg, it seems like he's given up his territorial sort of movements, and he's just jumping between easy sources of food. As Brent has seen him, I think this morning or last night, Taylor had him on the elephant carcass, and then he jumped across the road again and then back again. There doesn't seem to be any sort of pattern to his movement, apart from just hanging around permanent water where potentially the prey is easier. But it is my first time seeing him since being back from Kenya, so I wouldn't really know too much. When you find male leopard tracks in the road, I know Tristan and all these other guys will tell you who they are. I would not ever assume to know from the track who it is, unless there's a cub following. Then you've got a little bit more of an idea. But he is still looking very beautiful. Oh. Lynn, I think most leopards are able to tell each other apart by smell. And then there's also probably some sort of cue with regards to what they look like, a visual sort of cue. But I'm not sure exactly how that works and to what depth or level that works. I'm pretty sure males and females can sort of pick each other up with regards to what they smell like. It's all about pheromones, testosterone, all that sort of stuff will sort of be overflowing in certain leopards more so than in others. And their sense of smell is very, very keen. So is their hearing. Not that they can hear or hear anything specific about another leopard, but I reckon there might be some visual cues that make them know. But I know that have you ever tried to show a cat its own image in the mirror, a domestic cat, they don't seem to be too concerned with it because they can't smell another cat. So there's no other cat in the room. Dogs, on the other hand, will look at themselves in the mirror and go absolutely ballistic because they are also very, very sort of visual. Not that they aren't smell, but they are very visual dogs. And if you haven't tried it before, try it with your cat. It kind of looks straight past itself. Somewhere there. There he is. He is not too bothered. Michelle, most definitely he could potentially get in a conflict with another male leopard and be killed. But essentially, if a male starts becoming less dominant, he won't get into confrontations. So a leopard will only fight another leopard if they both feel they're up to the challenge and they'll both go for it. But if one feels the other one is bigger, maybe the growl is deeper or the dewlap is bigger or whatever it might be, the other one looks in more physical condition, the smaller of the two or the older of the two or the weaker of the two will move off. Well, while we stay with our flat cat, let's go to the little chief. Yes, thanks very much, Taylor. I hope you managed to find her on your way home. Maybe she'll just pop out on the road as she so often does. It would be so marvelous to be able to see that little youngster, the little bundle of joy I have still not seen in ages. I can't wait to see how big she has gotten. And here is the father. He's the dad. There we go. He's been lying flat the entire time, folks, so I think you can hear me talking about him. Raise the head. Sorry about the gremlins, folks. We are in a river depression behind the dam, which probably doesn't make matters easier. Come on, Tingana, say hello to the camera. I haven't even seen your face properly yet. He is alert. I think he's quite hungry, and he's in a very good position. He's lying low. He's in the depression, as I said, behind the dam. Lots of animals move through here. This is perfect leopard stalking habitat, and anything could come down to these little puddles and ponds to drink. It's also rather cool down here as well. It's actually quite humid. And he's got a very nice, comfortable patch of grass to lie on. Is he going to smile at the camera, Ferg? Off he dozes again. Take care. I don't know if it ever stops growing. I think it must do. The dewlap must stop growing, but I mean, I honestly don't know the answer to that. You basically get male leopards in their prime who have an enormous dewlap, and as they start sort of getting older, the dewlap is still there. It's almost, I would say, like muscles in grown men, you know, like they can be really big when they're fit and in their prime, and if they start to get a little bit older, they just start to get a little bit more saggy. So the dewlap will remain. It just might not look as pronounced, I suppose, but I'm really not too sure. It's too much for him. This is too much for him this day. He's hiding now. Okay, very good. We're going to go over to Taylor, who's got the tracks of that little one. Well, Tingana has not done too much. I don't think my biology lesson was the most exciting topic he's ever heard of. Quite rightly, I think it put him to sleep. Poor fellow. Just catching up on Twitter and seeing the photos from earlier. Marvelous, the screenshots you've managed to send through of the two of them together. I think it is quite remarkable how they do what they do. And it goes back to my interview in November of last year, from when Tingana, we had him just up the road from where we are now. And Hosana came into the sighting and probably did something quite similar, I suppose, to today. So I think it is rather remarkable that we are able to see this on such a regular occurrence. I mean, for me it was the first time ever, and now it just seems to be sort of everyday sort of norm. Paula, my favorite leopard is in fact Hosana. And when we were on our way down here, we passed Brent, and I managed to get a very quick glimpse of the beautiful little prince, little chief, as he crossed the road. So he gave me a quick little hello, and then we came down here. We're now with Papa Bear, who is very relaxed in the grass. But Hosana definitely is my favorite. He is the most inquisitive I've ever experienced. And there is an impala just on the other side of the river here. Don't think he's seen Tingana is just moving through there. I saw the horns. There you can just see his back, Ferg. That is him there. That's his back if you just deepen that focus. You'd see the back of the impala. He has no idea, but neither does Tingana. Neither one are aware of each other. And that is what can be quite helpful down in these little sort of depressions for leopards, is because there's not too much wind. So the wind doesn't really pick up, so it won't really give the impala any form of sort of notice that the leopard is here. But he is on the other side of a little puddle here. But like some of the warthogs in Djuma and in Chitwa, we know they do subscribe to Safari Live, and they do know when they see a vehicle like this one that we're probably looking at a leopard. So that impala is looking at us quite closely, going, "What are you doing there, sir?" Wants to know if he can come get an autograph from Ferg and myself. Most certainly you can. You just have to wade through this little depression and then get past a hungry cat. I'm glad to give you an autograph. Mina, I wonder if humidity does affect predator behavior. I'm not sure if it does. I mean, just there's no wind down here, so the lack of wind is definitely something that will affect the chances of success, because it's not pushing the wind towards him. If he doesn't hear the animal, then he won't see it. He won't be able to find it if he can't smell it either. So that is important. That is important sort of stuff, you know. Like humidity, it just makes it a little bit more uncomfortable, I suppose, for the animals to be moving around. But I don't think there's any direct sort of link between how it affects any of the hunting. Okay, I believe there might be some answers out there about my wind, Corey. There's some very interesting answers there. None of them are correct, I'm afraid. If you can just give me the names again, please, Nix. It's very easy. Everyone will remember it. Fiona Annamakori is not correct. Brenda, I'm sorry, it is not right. Eloise, you give quite a good guess there. You say vent, but it's not vent, Corey. It is another word that everyone is very familiar with. We fly in them. I wonder if that's enough of a clue for you to understand. We fly in them. Hey, Nix has called it out. I'm sure the clue is good enough for you all to understand. So it is. Ferg has said helicopter Corey, and that is not correct, Ferg. Not helicopter Corey. Something else we might fly in. Not a drone either, Ferg. Not a drone either. Ferg's playing the game too, folks, just so that you know. And we do have another vehicle who's come in to see Hosana. Yeah, he's flat, Sips. Flat. So we're just saying hello to one of the vehicles there. Laura Moore, if you have to shorten the word aeroplane and then put in the word Corey, that will explain it very clearly. Patrick, avio Corey is too much related to a bird. So, too much related to a bird. So, jet. I don't know, albeit how many jets you've flown in your life, but most people fly in aeroplanes. So, ladies and gentlemen, dung dung dung. The answer is Aero Corey. How easy is that to remember? So now I have one more for you for the day. We're going to leave it after we come back. You can answer it, but it is probably the easiest one to remember, and it is to do with water. I wonder what transfer with water would be. I wonder if anybody has an answer for that. Some wonderful ecology terms. I'll be using some more of them over the next few days, and it is not aquacory, but think about it. Think about it. It is quite straightforward. And a nice ecological term to describe how these things have evolved and where they occur. Are they next to a river? And obviously it's all about distribution. You want to get your seeds away from where you are. You want them to either go underground, you want them to move down the river, you want them to blow away in the wind, you want an animal to eat them and move away. So it also gives the age of a lot of species with regards to when they evolved their distributions and how old they are on sort of a geological scale with regards to when all of these organisms came in. Obviously, wind Corey, plants that have a wind Corey are generally probably older type of plants. So a lot of grasses are wind because there was no distribution very long ago with any sort of animal. Okay, so we're going to wait here and see if this impala comes closer. Okay, there's some answers coming through. Let's hear them, Nix. Hey, lots of people have got it correct. Hydro Corey, fantastic. Jamie, Dorez, Arlo Monique, Carla B. Nasita. Quite a few of you have got it right. Very, very well done. Seeing as you got that right, before we go away, I'll drop one more. I'll drop one more in it for you when you come back to me next time before I leg to Brett. What happens if they do it on their own? Absolutely no other mechanism, just themselves. Let's go over to Brent Leo Smith. How fantastic is that, ladies and gentlemen? A serious trifecta on the cats this afternoon. Brent with Tingana and Hosana, and me now with Tingana, and then Brent continue with Hosana, and now Hukumuri. It is a male-dominated leopard drive. Incredible, incredible, incredible. What more could we bump into today? I heard the update in my earpiece. Taylor just bumped into a leopard. I just had a thought that maybe she just bumped into Tundi and the cub. But not to be, not to be. Possibly tomorrow or the next day, Ferg. We're very hoping. I've got high hopes. I'm hoping everything's okay there. Brent and Tristan are enjoying a little bit of the drama behind it all. That impala, though, seems to have tippy-toed past Tingana without even him raising his head. So that was rather disappointing. After our segment yesterday with that new young male, him nearly getting that young warthog, that was marvellous. I suppose to get 2 leopard chases in 24 hours is asking a bit much, isn't it, Ferg? Considering I haven't seen one in ages, to see 2 in 24 hours would just be ridiculous, I suppose, but that is what the Sabi Sands provides. And it is one of the reasons why we enjoy spending so much time out here with these lovely cats. First Lady, I think he is strong enough and in good enough condition to hunt a big impala. Definitely. I'm not saying that the big impala won't injure him in any way, but I think he's still very, very, very adept at it. I mean, Mvula was still hunting impala last time we saw him in January, and he was looking in far worse condition than Tingana is looking now. I haven't actually really even seen Tingana properly. I mean, I'm looking at his head and his shoulders. I haven't quite seen his hips. That is normally where a leopard starts losing condition, is in the hips. His fur still looks quite good. He doesn't seem to have any mange. That's another element of condition being lost. The fur still looks relatively good all around the head and neck. It's just kind of going a little bit sort of paler, or a little bit more washed compared to that of the younger leopards that we're seeing at the moment, with their beautiful gold and clear colors. Those beautiful spots. He's still a magnificent specimen. I wouldn't write him off yet. I just think he's not going to do as much of his territorial defense as he's been doing, and rather just do what Mvula has been doing and just moving around and feeding without too much competition. The little water depression there, and he was quite a bit of a, what would you say? He was quite afraid of the water, and he had to jump over it. He was he was terrified of this little bit of water. He didn't want to wet his feet. But now he has just disappeared into this very deep grove of tambuetes. We managed to come all the way around. We weren't able to follow him through there. It was impossible. There's a squirrel alarm calling, but I don't trust squirrels. Squirrels are, to me, very unreliable, but there are some Franklin up ahead here that are shouting. Keep our eyes and ears peeled, Fergie. That is the way it is, folks. If a leopard decides it wants to, oh, sorry, Ferg, it wants to go, then it just goes. And we can do what we like to try and find him. So as we try and navigate this depression, let's go over to Brent, who's driving probably better than I am at the moment.